Control, we have suffered mishaps. Our unit was ambushed, and SEAL Team 7's radio feed went silent under a sudden barrage of pinpoint, steady fire. Deep in the impenetrable jungle of an unnamed Eastern European state, 8 Kulin operators lay dying in an abandoned valley, silent, ringed by roughly 3 their number in enemy fighters. All other assets were very far away. The weather had forced the air support to shut down. Immediate help would not arrive in time, but someone was close by to assist. Someone the SEAL commander had explicitly said should not be sent on this op was the one nearest to help. Staff Sergeant Arya Kane, 26, was a sniper the Special Ops world whispered about, and the same world had refused to trust her. They said she was too small, too soft, too feminine. But over the next 4 hours, Arya moved like a ghost through that green hell, and her suppressed rifle spoke death with a cold, surgical rhythm. She taught everyone a lesson they would never forget. She was the deadliest hunter in that jungle, someone you never saw coming. When a SEAL team is surrounded by enemies who think the victory is theirs, salvation often comes not from thunderous reinforcements, but from the quiet, precise work of a sniper who refuses to watch warriors die. Staff Sergeant Arya Kane lay absolute still in her hiding place, breathing slow and controlled. Her M110 on its bipod the result of thousands of practiced hours. At 26, she had 4 years as a sniper, more than 200 missions behind her, and 43 confirmed kills. Those numbers alone should have earned respect, but in the male-dominated support world she had to fight for recognition every single day. She was small, 5'6", compact and tough, with black hair braided tight and brown eyes that could read a twitch at a distance and make seasoned shooters shake their heads. Her call sign was Ghost, not for calmness, but because she was there and unseen when the enemy died. Today's op had been supposed to be routine. Overwatch SEAL Team 7 while they trailed a suspect through the jungle. The SEALs would push forward, gather intel, and exfil. Arya was to watch from the trees, rifle ready, hoping she would never need to fire. Team leader, Lieutenant Commander Daniel Rohr, had made his position clear in the pre-mission brief. "I want Henderson on Overwatch," Rohr told the operations officer flatly, "not the girl." "Henderson's on another assignment," came the reply, "and Arya Kane is the best sniper we have available. Then find someone else. Anyone else." Rohr's jaw tightened. His decision was firm. This is a Tier 1 mission. We need someone reliable, not someone who freezes the moment rounds start flying. Arya stood silently nearby, having heard every word. The sting cut deep, not because of her record, but because of the prejudice behind it. She kept quiet, waiting for orders, knowing that if she argued, she would only confirm their doubts. The operations officer would not back down. "Kane is the best option we've got, and your team needs eyes." That ended the discussion. 12 hours later, Arya was lying on high ground overlooking the valley where the SEALs were moving as one unit. Through her scope, she watched 8 figures pushing forward in disciplined formation, professionals executing their craft. Her radio cracked softly. "Ghost, this is 7 Actual, approaching waypoint 40. Do you see anything in your sector?" Arya swept her optics across the terrain, scanning angles and ridgelines, searching for the smallest irregularity. 7 Actual, this is Ghost. Path is clear, no visual contacts. Copy. Lieutenant Commander Rohr's tone was clipped and professional, but the edge of mistrust bled through. He still didn't want her there, and he wasn't hiding it. Arya shoved her emotions aside and locked on the mission. Her duty wasn't to earn Rohr's approval, it was to keep the team alive. The SEALs descended deeper into the valley along a track known for enemy resupply movement. Arya's scope never stopped moving, eyes sweeping for threats. Then she noticed it. Movement. Faint, but real. A subtle shift in the brush 200 meters to their left, then another to the right, and one more directly ahead. Her pulse ticked higher, though her hands stayed steady. Cold dread slid into her stomach. Roughly 30 hostile fighters were maneuvering with deliberate precision, closing the noose around the unsuspecting SEALs. They'd laid a textbook kill. Enemy teams arrayed to funnel the SEALs straight into a prepared ambush, and the men were walking into it. "Stop the advance now," Arya's voice cut in, even and controlled. "There are roughly 30 hostiles encircling your position." "They're setting up a kill zone," she added, and for a heartbeat the radio went quiet while Roar processed it. "Ghost, we don't see anything," he replied, skepticism thick in his tone. "You sure?" she asked. "Positive. I'm counting at least 30, maybe more, forming a ring to spring once you push forward." Another long pause as realization and distrust collided on the net. Trust the woman you dismissed, or trust the visual sweep of your own element? "Ghost, we still have no visuals. Hold your position." Then the world detonated. An enemy vehicle rolled onto a pressure plate IED. The blast tore earth and equipment skyward, and the ambush erupted from every tree line. "Contact! Contact! We're taking heavy fire!" Roar's voice had no question in it now, only urgent command. Chaos followed, wounded, rounds slamming into timber, men diving for cover. Through her scope, Arya watched the nightmare unfold, the SEALs pinned behind logs and rocks, outnumbered and low on ammo, roughly 4 wounded per healthy operator. "Control, this is 7 actual. We're being overrun. Need immediate support." The reply from command was brutal but clear. All air assets and QRF were being vectored, but the ETA was 45 minutes. 45 minutes felt like a sentence. "They'll be dead in 10, she thought, then measured. 7 minutes, she told herself out loud. "Ghost here, I'm engaging." "Negative," came the operations officer's voice. Refusal and fear braided together. But Arya didn't wait for permission. "Ghost, you're about to engage 30-plus hostiles. With all due respect, say again." Roar barked. "If nobody does anything, you'll be dead," someone warned. Arya was already shifting her position, fingers working the range. She was picking targets now. She could read the whole battlefield in a way the ground element couldn't. "Believe me, or don't, but I'm engaging," she replied, and didn't wait for permission. Through the scope, she locked on the first threat. An enemy with an RPG preparing to fire on the SEAL position. Range, 387 meters, moving east at about 3 miles per hour. The angle was low. Arya's breath eased. Her finger found the trigger. The world narrowed to rifle, reticle, and target. She squeezed. The suppressed weapon expelled a soft, breath-like report. Through glass, she watched the RPG gunner crumple. A dark hole where his forehead had been. One down. She swung to the next threat as bullets began slamming into a machine gunner's spot. Range, 412 meters. Wind accounted for, suppressed. 2 went down. Arya moved methodically along the ridge like a shadow of death, her rifle whispering each time another enemy hit the dirt. Each quiet report meant another fighter cut down. The ambushers had no clue where the rounds originated. No muzzle flash, no telltale crack, nothing to triangulate. "Ghost, what the hell are you doing?" Roar's voice trembled with a mix of shock and disbelief. "They're dropping like flies." "I'm doing my job, sir," she replied, then found the next target. "Suppressive fire. Stay low and let me work." 3 down, 4, 5. Confusion rippled through the enemy ranks as men fell and their comrades searched for the invisible shooter. Arya exploited that panic without mercy, sliding her position along the ridge to get fresh angles, never staying long enough to be found. An enemy officer surged out of cover to rally his men. Arya put a round into his chest from 434 meters out. 9 hits total. The attackers, poised to finish off 8 trapped Americans, weren't ready to be hunted by a ghost with surgical accuracy. 7 actual, enemy on your west sector, Ghost reported quietly. I just dropped the 10th target. Move west on my direction and you can punch out of the kill zone. 3 of you are wounded and can't move fast. Covering fire from the other 5 while I suppress the enemy, she added. Move on my mark in 30 seconds. Ghost, we still show at least 20 enemies over there, came the tense reply. Not for long, Arya said, voice cold as ice. 3, 2, 1, mark. 5 SEALs pushed with controlled speed as their small demolitions volleyed to lay down smoke and suppressive blasts while they dragged the wounded toward the western edge. The enemy tried to cut them off, but every time a fighter rose to fire, Arya put him down. One, then another, her rifle whispering death in measured bursts. Each shot found its spot. Every round ended a life. The attackers began to run. They're breaking, one of the SEALs shouted. It was true. The force that had set the trap now crumbled under the terror of being hunted by someone they could not see. Nearly half their numbers fell to an unseen sniper. Their will to fight evaporated. Move west. I'll cover your extraction, Ghost instructed. Roar's tone had shifted. Something like respect threaded through it. How many did you need suppressed to get the wounded out? He asked. We'll count later, Arya replied. The SEALs pulled their casualties and eased out of the jungle while Arya stayed on overwatch. Twice the enemy tried to regroup for counterstrikes. Twice more, her rifle spoke and they collapsed. 15 confirmed killed by the time the entry point was reached. By exfil, the enemy force was a scattered wreck. More than 30 fighters and their armored elements fled, chased from the trees by the ghost who'd torn them apart. The QRF medevac lifted the wounded. Arya watched until everyone was aboard, then slid into the rotor wash, climbed out at the pickup, rifle slung across her back. The men who had been fighting, hardened Kuleen warriors who'd seen more blood than most, looked at her with a new, raw admiration. Lieutenant Commander Roar limped up, mud and blood streaking his face, eyes strange with something Nova had never seen before. Shame braided with respect. Staff Sergeant Kane, he began, voice thick, then stalled for words. Arya stood steady despite the ache in her bones. Roar held her gaze a long moment, then extended his hand. I owe you an apology and the lives of these 7, he said. Arya took his hand. I'm just doing my job, sir. No, your job, he answered, voice quiet with something like wonder. Roar let out a hollow chuckle. Your job, he repeated, then leaned in. Do you realize what you just did? You took iron from a far larger enemy force, by yourself. 15 kills, he continued, voice steadying as the weight of it landed on everyone there. 15 precise shots from distance, and they never knew where the rounds came from. You turned what should have been a massacre into a successful extraction. His tone softened. And you did that after I explicitly said I didn't want you on this mission because I doubted a woman could hold under that pressure. Around them, the other SEALs had closed rank to listen. A younger operator with a bandaged hand piped up, Lieutenant, before the op, you said the shooting would freeze if things went sideways. Roar didn't look away from Arya as he admitted, I was wrong. Flatly, completely wrong. he faced the team. Today taught us something crucial. We learned that the enemy can kill you, and that judging skill by gender or reputation is not just wrong, it's dangerous. And we learned that Staff Sergeant Aria Kane isn't merely good. He turned back to her. She's one of the finest shooters I've seen in action. How you shifted the fight, logged 15 on-target kills, tracked multiple threats in an active firefight, and provided clear comms guidance. That's beyond good shooting. That's mastery. Sir, let me finish, Roar added, voice firm but not cruel. Before today, I didn't want you on my team. After today, I'm requesting you be permanently assigned to Team 7's support element, if you'll have it. Arya looked from him to the other marksmen and saw their heads nodding, respect settling in. I'd be honored, sir, she said. One of the SEALS, a joint ops operator, stepped forward. Kane, how did you spot that setup when we didn't? Our pointmen missed it. Where did you see them? Another asked. 800 meters out, Arya offered with a small smile. Sir, respectfully, you were searching forward. I was looking everywhere, and I wasn't just looking, I was reading the jungle. I read the jungle, Arya said simply. She watched how birds fell silent in certain patches, felt the odd stillness, noticed the vegetation pinched where men had passed. It's about seeing what isn't there as much as what is. A man, Jesus Brick, muttered, How long have you done this? My whole life, sir, she answered. I'm from Colorado Springs. I grew up with a hunting guide for a father who taught me to track deer by signs most people miss. The Army just gave me better tools and deadlier opportunities. The team doc shook his head at the ballistic readout. Some of those rounds hit moving targets at over 400 meters in thick jungle, and while targets were airborne. Those aren't normal shots. Normal is what you make, Sergeant. When I'm off mission, I train 8 hours a day, she said. My rifle is part of me. I know its behavior at every range and in every condition. I don't take shots I'm not certain of. 15 of 15. Roar repeated slowly, savoring the fact. 15 rounds, 15 hits. Best performance under worst conditions, he said, stunned. This gets reported up the chain. Sir, I preferred to keep working quietly, Arya offered, but it was too late. The word had already spread. Roar gave a small, rueful smile. Kane, you're famous now in the special ops world. The sniper who saved SEAL Team 7, the ghost who hunts hunters. In the hours after medevac and debrief, the rifle's data log confirmed everything. Engagement ranges from 287 to 458 meters, 15 targets across a 600-meter sector, constant angle shifts to hold optimal sight lines. Her average cadence, 18 seconds between shots, including target acquisition, range math, wind calls, and the trigger pull, made the operations officer's jaw drop as he parsed the numbers. This is a level of marksmanship we might never see again, even from our best, he said. And you did it in your first hot support for Team 7 at 26. No, sir, Arya corrected softly. This was my 47th Ladaku mission, and my first time supporting Team 7. The operations officer scanned her file anew. 47 missions, 43 prior confirmed kills, decorations, the Ladaku campaign badge, and asked the question everyone wanted answered. Why weren't you in the advanced sniper course? I've applied 3 times, she said. Each time I was turned down. On what grounds? He asked. The official line cited operational needs, but the truth, revealed in private, was uglier. A course commander who didn't believe a woman could handle the pressure. The operations officer's expression hardened. That ends now, I'm putting you into the advanced course immediately, and I'll call the commander personally to make sure your slot stands. What you proved today shows you don't just cope under pressure. You excel." 3 days later, Arya was summoned to a meeting at the forward operating base, bracing herself for more questions about the fight, only to find that the conversation waiting for her would be very different. She stepped into a room full of senior officers, faces she'd seen in photos, the Area Special Operations Commander, the Task Force CO, and to her surprise, a 2-star general she didn't immediately recognize. Everyone rose as she entered. Arya rendered a crisp salute, and the general returned it with a smile. "Relax, Staff Sergeant," the general said. "I'm General Naomi Ellsworth, Commanding General Special Operations Forces. I came to see you in person." "Ma'am, I read the report," Arya replied, "and I admit I had doubts until I saw the data." Ellsworth approached and studied her directly. 15 rounds, 15 kills, the general said. Not a single friendly lost. A SEAL team walked out of what should have been a slaughter, and you did that after your team leader asked you not to be sent because he didn't trust a female sniper. "I was doing my job, ma'am, your job," Arya answered softly. Ellsworth smiled, then leaned in. "What you did went far beyond duty. You demonstrated battlefield awareness, pinpoint targeting, and decision-making under pressure. Some of the finest sniper work I've seen in 24 years in special operations." She paused, then added, "I've also learned you were denied the advanced sniper course 3 times despite your record. Yes, ma'am, that ends now. You're not only going to the advanced course, you're being assigned to the Special Operations Sniper Training Battalion as an instructor." "Ma'am, I'm honored, but I'm not sure I'm the right fit," Arya said, surprised. "Not sure." Ellsworth's tone was sharp but fair. "Staff Sergeant, you saved 8 lives while those you were protecting doubted you. You accomplished feats other trained snipers call impossible." Lieutenant Commander Daniel Rohr stepped forward. "If I may, General." Rohr faced Arya. "Kane, I'm recommending you for a Silver Star. You risked yourself to save your team and neutralized a superior enemy force. You showed courage, skill, and you saved 8 Americans, myself among them." His voice wavered with emotion. "More than that, you taught me something I should have learned sooner. Warriors come in every form, and the worst mistake a commander makes is judging ability by preconception instead of performance." He extended his hand. "Thank you for saving my team and for making me a better officer." Arya shook his hand, feeling the weight of the moment. "Sir, you were willing to learn. That's what matters," Rohr said quietly. General Ellsworth continued, "One more thing. The advanced sniper community and special mission instructors can be brutal. You'll face doubt, pushback, and people who'll insist you don't belong." Arya considered, then answered with steady confidence, "I'll do what I always have, ma'am. Work to the best of my ability, prove my worth by what I do, not what I say, and not expect trust until it's earned." Ellsworth's lips curved into a smile. "The results will speak for themselves." "Excellent answer. Welcome to the Advanced Special Operations Community, Staff Sergeant. You've earned your place here. Now go show the rest what we already know. Excellence has no gender." The meeting adjourned, and as Arya stepped out, a towering SEAL from Team 7, Brick, intercepted her. "Kane, got something for you," he said, holding out a small patch. The gold trident gleamed in his palm. "Sir, I can't take that. I'm not a SEAL." "No, you're not," Brick agreed. "But you're family now. You bled for us, fought for us, saved us. That makes you one of us. Patch or no patch? He pressed it into her hand. Stitched beneath the symbol were the words, "The sniper who saved Team 7, with respect and gratitude." Arya's eyes burned, though she forced the tears back. "Thank you, sir." "No," Brick said, voice rough. "Thank you. We were dead. You brought us home. We'll never forget it." Later, walking toward her quarters with the trident in her pocket and a new future as an instructor unfolding ahead, Arya let her thoughts wander over the road that brought her here. Every doubt, every slight, every time someone asked if she belonged, it had all led to this moment. She thought of the girl in Colorado Springs who tracked deer through mountainsides, practicing skills others dismissed as too delicate. She thought of 15 enemies who learned too late that the deadliest hunter isn't the largest or the fastest. It's the one you never notice until it's over. And she thought of the 8 SEALs still alive because she refused to let them die. Arya Kane had been called small, feminine, untrustworthy, someone who would crumble under pressure. But after that day, she was known as something else. Ghost, the sniper who hunted hunters, who proved warriors come in every form. The woman who didn't demand respect, but whose skill and devotion left no other option. In the Pentagon, a senior officer read a report on the 26-year-old who had gone 15 for 15 under fire, shifting perceptions about women in combat. The world was changing, slowly but undeniably, and Arya Kane had helped move it forward, one precise shot at a time. Because sometimes obstacles aren't beaten by brute force, but erased by flawless execution. 15 rounds, 15 kills, excellence defined. "Kane, hold up," a voice called behind her. She turned to see the team doctor jogging up, canvas bundle clutched in his hands, breathless. "Got a minute?" "Sure, Doc," Arya said quietly. "Cut the formalities. You saved my life." "Call me a doctor," he answered with a faint smile as he held out the canvas bundle. "The whole team wanted this to go to you." Arya peeled back the wrapping and found a custom rifle case in her hands, rich leather stamped with a small brass plate. SSG, Area Ghost Kane. Seal, Team 7 Guardian Angel 150. "We had it made at the base leather shop," the doctor explained. "I figured your rifle deserved a case that shows what you've done for us." Arya traced the engraving with her fingertips, fighting to keep her composure. "Doc, this is—" she began. "You don't have to say anything," he interrupted. "Just keep being that stubborn sniper who won't let good people die on her watch." His tone grew more serious. "Do you know what they're saying about you? Having you on Overwatch feels like having a guardian angel up there. Everyone breathes easier knowing the ghost is watching." "That's why I'm here," Arya said, voice steady. "No," the doctor replied. "You're here because you're extraordinary at what you do. The guardian angel thing is just a bonus." He smiled. "Oh, and Roar asked me to tell you something. He's already filed the paperwork to make you a permanent part of Team 7. Every mission, every assignment. And he said to tell you he was a fool to doubt you once. He won't make that mistake again." Despite the emotions swirling in her chest, Arya smiled. "Tell him I accept." "Already figured you would," Doc said with a grin, squeezing her shoulder. "Welcome to the family, Ghost, and thanks for keeping us alive long enough to appreciate it." As he walked off, Arya stood alone in the fading light, the rifle case heavy in her hands. It wasn't just recognition. It was acceptance, respect, the proof she'd carved out her place among warriors with skill and courage that couldn't be denied. Her mind drifted to tomorrow. The advanced sniper course, the role of instructor, and the young marksman, men and women alike, she'd help shape. She imagined teaching them lessons far beyond windage or elevation. Lessons about resilience, about proving worth through excellence, about never letting doubt define you. Her phone buzzed. A text from her father in Colorado Springs. Heard something happened overseas. You okay, kiddo? Arya smiled as she typed back. Better than okay, Dad. I finally showed them what you taught me. Turns out tracking elk in the mountains translates just fine to other kinds of hunting. His reply came fast. That's my girl. Your mother would be so proud. Hell, I'm proud. Love you. Love you too, Dad, she wrote back, glancing up at the sky darkening with the first stars. Out there, in forests, mountains, and battlefields still unknown, warriors would one day need her eyes, her steadiness, her rifle. Lives would need saving, enemies would need stopping. And she was ready, not because she had anything left to prove, but because this was who she was, a sniper, a protector, a ghost watching over those who needed her unseen presence. Arya Kane walked back toward her quarters, rifle case gripped in one hand, the SEAL patch tucked into her pocket, and a horizon of possibilities opening before her. Behind her stood the sniper they had once dismissed. Ahead of her stretched the legend she was destined to be. In that jungle, where 15 enemies had fallen and 8 seals had survived, the wind carried whispers through the trees. The tale of the day a ghost proved that the fiercest warrior isn't always the one you expect. Sometimes it's the quiet woman with a rifle who refuses to let good men die. Sometimes it's the unseen hunter no one accounted for. Sometimes it's the one everyone underestimated. And Arya knew with certainty that was more than enough. Thanks for watching. For more incredible stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe to Major Tom's Tales.